All right, so as I just finished explaining in class, I have this video that I am going to show, and I'm recording this so that I can talk over it a little bit. So this video kind of walks through the process of using the photographic screen printing system that we have here in class. It's definitely not meant to be actual directions on how to do it. It's just kind of an overview to show you what it looks like. So this is the Printa company's storage warehouse area. That is a 6-color screen print. We have 2 4-color printers. So we have the ability to use 4 colors at a time. Those 6, you could have 6 different spot colors. You can see how these colors build on top of each other. We have the dryer there curing the ink. So after the ink is put down on the fabric, it goes under the cure, and then it spends some time under there curing. And during a production run, you can print the next color on the next shirt. So you see how that process is going here. There's a lot of work that goes into setting up. So what he's doing right now is actually the easy part. Printing is actually the easy part of screen printing. It's the setting up and prep, design, cleaning the screens, getting all that stuff set up, which is actually the part that takes the longest. So printing the actual product is the easy part. All right, so switching over to his 4th color. Oh, this press here that you're looking at is a 4-color print, so it's exactly the same thing we have in the classroom. Underneath the screen printing unit, there's a storage cabinet for a few screens and for the exposure unit. So the exposure unit is what we use to expose our screen printing film to the design that we're using. It uses infrared light. So here what he's doing is he's putting down a template on top of the exposure unit, and that template will help us line up our design so that it's in the correct spot on the fabric we're printing on or the shirt we're printing on. And you just saw him kind of demonstrate what the ultraviolet light looks like when you turn that on. Kind of showing you a weird thing there. I don't understand what he's showing you there. So they skipped the exposure process, but here we are washing out a screen. So when the ultraviolet light hits the film, there's a chemical reaction that happens. And then you're able to wash out the design. Those pin registrations that he just talked about, or that he was just showing you, helps us make sure that the design is in the same exact spot every single time. And these little adjustments that he's doing now, if we had to like move the design just a little bit, let's say something wasn't lined up perfectly, we can use these micro adjustments to move it ever so slightly. That is something that you as the student usually don't mess with. That's something that I usually help you fix if needed. But if you do everything right, you shouldn't need to adjust it. So now the shirts are going through the conveyor dryer and curing unit. So the type of ink that we use for screen printing on fabric needs to be cured for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature. And it looks like that's the end of the video. So just to give you a little rundown of what things look like. Okay, I'm going to actually keep my screen running here because we'll talk about the next little thing that I want you to work on today, and then it'll be recorded so you can watch it later if you missed something. So I'm going to come back over here into Schoology. All right, so that was this video, the top one, demo video. There's a second video that you can watch on your own. It has some music behind it, so I didn't want to show that and try to talk over it. So you can watch that. This is at screen printing or at printing conferences and things like that. Professionals will go to conferences and trade shows to see new equipment and listen to talks about up and coming technologies and that kind of stuff. Printa, the company, has a demo that they put together to show you how some of their equipment works when you're in person at one of these trade shows. So this is a video of that. So it just shows you a little bit different points of view from what we just saw. So you can check that out on your own if you'd like. And then we have this brainstorming and ideas submission. Okay, so we open this up, submit a link to a Google Doc, a slide, a drawing, or some other type of document that shows some research, planning, and design ideas that you might have for our first one-color photographic screen printing project. This is important. We are going to print a one-color job to get started. Okay, so black ink on a white t-shirt, green ink on a blue t-shirt, purple ink on a neon yellow t-shirt. I don't care what color ink you use, but our design that we come up with is going to be a one color design. All right, white ink on a gray shirt, that's one color. So one color photographic screen printing project. I'm not necessarily asking you to come up with what your design is going to be right now. I want you to come up with some ideas based on some research and planning. So make a Google Doc, make a slide, make a Google drawing, or something else, however you want to do it. Inside of that document or slide or drawing or whatever you create inside of that document, I'd like you to copy and paste maybe some links to web pages that you find. Maybe you have a video that you watched. Maybe after you watched this video that we just watched, maybe something over here grabs your attention and you're like, oh, that's cool. I want to do something like that. I don't know what that is. You can click on it and then copy that link and put it into your document. Use text to type out your thoughts. So explain yourself in writing a little bit, like what is it that you want to do? Insert images that you might want to utilize in a design. So if you want to use, if you want to create a design for your youth group retreat that's going to happen this spring or something like that, I don't know. That's just a crazy idea popped in my head. What kind of images might you use? Go and find some. And you can insert them into this document. Your file that you make should be informative. Have a solid idea of what you would like to accomplish. All right? Explain what your idea is to me a little bit. Make sure your file is shared with me and a link is submitted. Okay, so over here, you'll see it looks different on mine, but over here you'll see a little button that says submit assignment. You guys know how to do that. But make sure that if you create a Google Doc or a Google slide or a drawing or something else, you have to share it with me and then submit the shared link here. Okay, this is kind of different. We haven't really done anything like this before, so I want you to put some effort, put some thought into it. And that way, when you come to class in person, we're not wasting time during class coming up with ideas. We're ready. When you get to class in person, we're ready to jump right into it. Okay? That's why I'm having you do this. So it's a little different than what we've done before, but I want to give this a shot. All right. Let me end this video, and then I'll come back to the meet and chat with you for a couple seconds, and then we'll get ourselves rolling.